Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Prince Magnum channel where hot rodding and roll still coexist. I'm your host, Prince Magnum. Welcome to Sober Talk. Tonight is going to be a tough subject um, because I'm going to talk about me tonight. There comes a time when we need to talk about my well-being, and I need to be real with you guys. Uh, So that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to be real. We're going to talk about what's hurting and that sort of thing. Um, you know, it is what it is. Okay. What's going on, Danny? Good to see you. Good to see you. We're going to talk about tonight, you know, um, and this all relates to sobriety. It all relates to, you know, you can't see me, but don't worry, I'll be back out in the light here in just a moment. How you doing, Rosie? Good to see you. I poked my head into your stream earlier. Uh, I haven't exactly felt like myself, but I was in your stream earlier, dropped you a like. I just didn't say a whole lot. Um, you know, actually, I didn't say anything. I just poked my head in and kind of listened to you for a couple of minutes, and then I had to slide off. I wasn't in a good place. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about that today, Danny. Or for you, it's it's getting late over there where you guys are at. For me, it's almost 6 o'clock in the evening. What's going on, Chairman? Um, so we're gonna talk a little bit today about how I'm feeling. Yeah, I knew it was getting late for you guys. About 6 o'clock p.m. here. It's about midnight. Well, it's midnight for you guys. Spirit Wolf Ian, welcome to the live stream, my good friend. All right. Uh, we got a lot to talk about tonight. And a lot of it has to pertain to sobriety and how I'm feeling. Um, the title says what it says, okay, for a reason. Um, there's this whole thing that a lot of us guys here in the United States get told that, we're supposed to put on a front that we're always, all right and everything. Guys are only taught like a couple of motions over here. I don't know how it is in other parts of the world, but over here in the States, a lot of times you hear that whole thing, you know, um, guys really only have three emotions. Okay, Chairman. They have three emotions, and those three emotions are, happy, pissed off, and excited about a woman. If we'll leave it there, okay? Little innuendo there, okay? Those are the three emotions. Thank you, Chairman. I appreciate that. So that's kind of the gist of it. All right. So let's get down to brass tacks. We're gonna go ahead and just dive into this a little early. Uh, Everybody else can play catch up. Okay. So when I say it's not okay to be okay, well, that it's okay not to be okay. You all knew what I meant. When I say that, it pertains to me. I'm not okay. All right. And I'm going to be open and honest with y'all. I'm pissed off at a lot of the events that has happened transpired in the near month that Princess Faye has left. I'm pissed off about things that you might as well say happened prior to. Okay, I'm pissed off about the fact that that you know um, that I go to work every day now. I'm back to work, working regular and everything. I come home, and as much as I love them, I come home to two cats. There's they don't talk a whole lot, and when they do talk, I don't always understand them. Okay, so I come home to pretty much an empty apartment, other than the two cats. Okay, that's my evening time. I had twice now where I'll cook something and um, I go to ask Princess Faye, "Hey, honey, you want me to, put anything special on, do anything special to this for you?" Nope. What's going on, J Dog? And and she's not there. Okay. Okay. We're going to talk. Well, Rosie, my wife left me about a month ago. This Saturday, my wife has been gone for a whole month, and she's the one that actually uh, did the makeup for Cinnamon. So we actually have to find a makeup artist so I can carry on doing Cinnamon. Okay. So with everything that's been going on, I'm not happy. I'm pissed off. I'm upset. I'm frustrated. Been experiencing the depression and everything that goes with it. I am not okay. What's going on, Raven? I haven't talked to you in a couple of days. So that's why all of this pertains to the fact that yes, I'm still sober, but yeah, Cinnamon's. I haven't been able to do anything other than do voice acting for Cinnamon. I'm not happy about that. Yeah, I'm right there with you. Right there with you, brother. So I'm not okay. Okay. I haven't been able to act the character of Cinnamon for a month now, other than voice acting. I've not been able to, I've not been able to do cooking streams. Oh, yeah. Bad, love them to pieces. Well, thank you for doing that, Rosie. Appreciate that. I am not okay, to be honest with y'all. I'm not okay. I'm upset. I've been, well, I know playing the character of Cinnamon would help me feel a little bit better too, because that character always makes me feel good. I know this is going to sound strange, but my wife always made me look amazing. Um, I would often look at myself in the mirror and go, "My God, I, I look amazing." Oh, tell him I said hi right back, if you would, Danny. Thank you, Raven. Appreciate you, brother. So I've been experiencing all of those things. You know, just this tremendous loss here at home. I'm angry. I'm angry, and I'm going to share. I'm angry. I'm upset. I'm hurt. I'm experiencing everything. What's happening, Zero? You know, I'm experiencing it all. Okay, full force with no other outlet other than going to work, drinking coffee, and smoking cigarettes. That's my only outlets. No one to really. I mean, other than talking to you all and everything, you know, just so I feel like I'm not alone in this. Mm, right on, brother. I'm glad you were able to make it in. So you might as well say, I'm not okay. All right. These emotions are big. Okay. On the outside, I'm all right and everything. Oh, Natalie said, tell her I said hi too. Thank you. And I'm all right on the outside, but on the inside, I feel like I'm falling apart. My world has been crushed. Okay. I don't know if my wife is okay. I don't know if she's safe. I know I've had to do some things that I don't feel I'm not 100% happy about. I've had to cross moral lines and question myself, am I doing the right thing? I should never have to be in these positions, but here we are. Okay. I had to take a job working for a company that I had left behind for good reason, you know, and I'm doing the same things, and I'm not dealing with the same things I was before, but I'm doing the same things that I had left behind because I was kind of tired of doing those things. You know, I'm having to put back together a car that had a lot of this not happen, you know, we would be still working on that. You know, there's there's all these things that are happening, and I'm upset. Yes, I'm still doing things to put the pieces back together, but it doesn't mean that I feel okay. I know if Sober Man was here right now, me too, Zero. She's being hard-headed right now. The ground is falling out from underneath her, okay, on this little stunt. All right? How hard-headed do you have to be at this point? I will tell you all that I'm experiencing so many different levels of hurt and anger. The guy that was giving her the drugs up there, I'd like to go over there and beat the brakes off of him. Not saying I will, but I'd like to. Okay? I'd like to beat the brakes off that dude. Her parents, I'd like to crack their heads together a dozen times. No less than a dozen times. Just, just crack their heads together. Okay? Because, I mean, they caused most of these problems anyways. She wouldn't be like this if it wasn't for them. You know, um, Spirit Wolf and I were talking about this earlier. You know, I'm I'm angry. I'm angry. I'm hurt. Yeah. Right. Well, let me reiterate something here. Okay, you bring up a good point, Zero. What I'm saying is I would like to do it, but it doesn't mean I will. Okay? And let me express this right now. Okay? Saying you would like to do something is one thing. Doing it is a whole nother ball game. All right? Folks, remember that. This is part of what I'm talking about. This is what I'm feeling and experiencing. All right? I have all these emotions and these hurt and upset feelings and everything, and I'm sharing that because because of the fact that I'm not okay. And it comes a time in a person's sobriety, in a person's life, when you have reached that point where you need to say, this is not okay. I'm not okay because of this. And whatever you're experiencing, you need to talk about it. Folks, there's a lot more room out here than there is in here. You need to be real about these things. And I think sometime, you know, I think right, Raven. Sometimes we forget that it's okay not to be okay. I'm not 10 foot tall and bulletproof. I don't have, I'm not perfect. Okay, so you're on, you get it. I'm not saying I will do these things. I'm saying this is how I feel. Okay? These are the things I'm experiencing. You know, I tell you all that, I hope the law does their job when it comes to her parents. But there's part of me that still wishes other ill things, okay? Just because I'm angry. Okay? I'm not going to deny that, I don't have, upset feelings, okay? That's the truth. Right. Raven, I know some of your story, so I get it. Okay, I know some of your story, so I understand where you're coming from on that. I'm kind of, even though our stories are not the same, but there's a lot of details we share, I guess you could say. So I get it. I get it. There's a few of you fine folks that had served your country that I will say right now, I may not have been to the places you've been, but I understand your feelings, okay? We may not, if you will, okay? Like I said, I'm piecing the puzzle back together, and I'm hating coming home to an empty apartment with no one to cook for and only having a couple of cats that they just don't say a whole lot. I love them to pieces. I'm glad they're there. It's something. Something is better than nothing. This is actually, I'm a little better off than I was, as far as having company from when I first got sober, because that was really lonely. But this is just about as bad. Okay, okay. We've had some goofy weather in the area, so that's a possibility as well. Okay, we'll make a few minor adjustments. There we go. Let's see if that does any better. All right. But in a nutshell, what I'm discussing is the fact that there are going to be times in you guys' lives, maybe you're alcoholic, maybe you're not, maybe you're a drug addict, maybe you're not. I don't know. You know, that whether you're a man, woman, or however you identify these days, it doesn't matter. There are going to be days you're going to have to look at yourself and say, I am not okay. It's perfectly okay to not be okay, though. But the thing that Sober Man would tell you right now, if he was here, and that I'm going to say, is yes, we're not okay, but what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do? And I've thought and thought and thought the last couple of days, okay? I've been racking my brain, thinking, what am I going to do? I can't do this. I'm not meant for single life. But at my age, it's hard, okay? There's not too many options available out there for dear old Prince Magnum, and we don't know if Princess Faye is going to come to her senses. So there's a new dilemma. So now I'm stuck in a goddamn quandary. Do I move on? And, and, and figure, leave her to the wolves, with the setup that we got going on, or, or move on and wait, and if she starts coming, comes back into the picture, look at the other one and go, yeah, or do I wait? Do we wait at this point? I'm at a fucking quandary, okay? Because I don't do well alone. What do you do? What the frick do you do? That's a good question, isn't it? You know, I want to get back into doing, I want to get back into cooking and doing all the sweet stuff and it, but I got no one to do it for. But do you do that with the risk of, hey, I'm coming home? Well, absolutely zero. But the thing of it is that, Sober Man always says, you give up on somebody when you're throwing dirt in their face, when they pass on, okay, is what he's talking about. Just kind of a heads up for those that might misunderstand that. You give up on them when they pass away because at that point, their story here has ended, okay? But here's the thing. Do you move on? In my case, do you move on in hopes maybe she might come to her senses, or do you move on and kind of, figure, kind of already figuring her for dead, or, what? What? What do you do at this point? Because, I mean, at this point, you don't even know. Cave Bridges, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But here's the thing, okay? You can't rely on somebody because everyone's human, okay? And the last time I checked, I don't believe I've ever seen anyone glow with holy light, and I've only seen great illusionists walk on water, okay? Plain and simple. But now that I've said that, okay, you have to understand my happiness isn't necessarily hinged on someone, on somebody else, but it does hinge on making my happiness is making somebody else happy. That is my enjoyment, okay? So you guys got to understand. Absolutely. Absolutely zero. And every situation is going to be different. In situations like this, there really isn't a manual, okay? There's really no book, all right? And honestly, with the pandemic going on, I just lost a grandmother, and I just found out a few days ago I got a relative on basically on life support right now because of this pandemic. You know, there's not too much in the way of things to do still. That you go out even with the vaccine and run the risk that you might be one of those ones that's unlucky that the vaccine doesn't cover you all the way. Already got a compromised immune system because of my stroke. you know so not too much you could do out there, but I still like cooking. I still like doing the sweet stuff. What do you do? On top of that, we'll even go so far as to say that a good part of the of my content has been cut out from the channel. Okay, a good part of it, at least half. Okay, the cinnamon live streams, cinnamon TikToks. Let's not forget the cooking stuff. All the romance stuff that's been cut out. Which, I wouldn't do this, but for the record, for those of you who are content creators, yeah. So we're dealing with that as well. Okay. So even still, for someone like myself, it's a danger. Okay, even with the vaccine. So now we've got a whole nother problem. All right. But that doesn't mean that I can't cook for somebody. But who am I going to cook for? Not like they're exactly, beating down the door these days because, I'm in my upper middle ages. Yeah, Cabridge, you missed that part of the stream earlier. I tried that. Okay. I tried that, and immediately I got down two bowls, started to holler out to my wife, who's not here, if she wanted me to do anything for her dish, realized she wasn't here, and I broke down. I fell apart right then and there. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm not meant for single life, okay? So we have a problem here. So, you guys got to understand from my perspective, okay? I am not exactly built for single life anymore. I'm I'm a romantic husband. I like doing the sweet stuff. You know, I've got two of them. I've got two of them. They don't say much, Kay Bridges. They just don't say a whole lot. That's the problem. I got no one to share my work experiences with when I come home. I have no one to talk to in the evening time. I have no one to share my hopes and dreams with. The cats the cats will listen, but they don't talk back. So this is another issue. The human interaction. Okay? That's what I'm missing. The opposite gender human interaction. Folks, this is how dear old Prince Magnum is built these days. You guys got to understand. When honestly, the online dating thing is very, very touch and go these days. Um, for the romance, for surviving romance, I will clue you all in. Dear old Prince Magnum spent a lot of time doing research on a lot of those dating apps. What's going on, Miss Kelly, the Coffee Queen? Yeah, I'm right there with you, Zero. So, oh yeah, yeah, you've had a few bad experiences with that. So beyond those stories, now you've got AIs that will basically work that are built by the app to keep you spending money on it, and you'll never actually find anyone. So those are a joke. All right. So yeah, it's a waste of time. What's going on, Bible? Good to see you, brother. Thank you for stopping in. Appreciate you. So you guys got to understand from a perspective standpoint with dealing with all of these issues. Okay, you've got the romantic husband. I'm hanging in there. Yep, absolutely, Zero. You hit the nail on the head. So that's a joke. All right. So now you've got an upper middle aged guy like myself. Now with this whole experience thing going on, no one to do the sweet stuff for, and I'm sitting there going, I am not okay with this. Now again, I know sober man would say you have to, he would say right now one of those big pearls of wisdom, Prince Magnum, you have to accept it, but no one said you had to like it. He's right, and I'm hating it. Okay, we're beyond not just liking it. I hate this. Okay, plain and simple. I hate this. Yeah, yeah. Miss Kelly's talking and it's like, who do where do you even begin on some crap like this? Where do you even start on crap like this? You know. So so we're talking, a good portion of the channel has been hit, and it's been hit hard. Okay. Now, the good news is in all of this, okay, in all of this, the good news in this is that, oh, no, that's good, Chairman. Good to see you, brother. There is some good news. If you guys, yeah, yeah, I'm right there with you on that one, Zero. It's like while I was married, I was always being hit on. The moment the wife walks out the door, they're not there anymore. So I guess you could say, dear old Prince Magnum. Now, I'm not talking about the three-letter word. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is that female companionship where I can come home, share my hopes, dreams, frustrations, and everything with somebody, to do the sweet stuff with, to watch a movie with, play video games with, whatever. It's not happening right now, and I don't like it. Especially not having someone to cook for. Okay? I don't like that. I've cooked twice in the near month that Princess Faye has been gone. This Saturday will be a whole month that she walked out that door. So I'm going to tell y'all right now, with this experience right now, I am not okay. Yeah, I've had that happen too. I've had that happen too. And I will tell you, in experiences like that, you just keep swinging away. No. Well, Kelly, you and I ought to talk about that, because I'm going to tell you, I've never done well in single life. Kay Bridges, you asked a good question. I've got an entire playlist called Picking Up the Pieces that really dives into it. I really don't want to talk about it right now. Short story, my wife's got basically, she ended up like me, becoming an alcoholic and an addict. Uh, and I do group myself in with the addict because easily, if the conditions were right, I could have easily turned to drugs too. So even though drugs really weren't my thing, well, no, I take that back. There was about a month I was stuck doing a lot of methamphetamines for about a whole month. But then, I lost interest in it, I guess is the best way to put it. So I confess that. But man, I was wired for sound. Right. You know. So here I am. Mm. You're talking NA logic there. Uh, for the purposes of Alcoholics Anonymous, I do keep them separate. But ironically enough, uh, yes, you are technically right. Even in the mental health profession, if you're an alcoholic, if you're an addict, they call you a chemical dependent in recovery or not. Okay, and my wife fell into that trapping. It's deep enough now for her, though, that the authorities, I can guarantee, are somewhat involved. And judging by the way she left, it wouldn't surprise me if they were not already involved. If they weren't, the way she left, I've seen that before. And if I didn't know it any better, she left because she was in trouble. It's just easier to blame it on me, you know? So I will suggest, though, for you K Bridges, go over and take a look at that series, that playlist, because those are the ones that really nail everything down. Um, there's about 8 hours worth of information that definitely, if you are connected, within the social media outlets, Instagram, all that stuff, I definitely suggest you share it out. If you got a Discord, share it out. Okay, that particular playlist is definitely going to be helpful to getting the wife home. Okay. Um, you know, so in the meantime, the question is, what do I do? You know, now I started to go into what we have done. Now, as far as the channel goes, we are going to continue with the car content, with the romance content. We're just going to have to find a way, okay? We're going to have to find a way to make it happen. I got some crazy ideas. We'll just see what if I feel up to going through with it. But this channel has always, for the longest time, you might as well say almost always had some sort of romance content involved. Even as far back as when, we were doing early videos that weren't that good. Mm-hmm. K Bridges, we've talked about that numerous times. It's a possibility, or you may need to check. You might want to check your stuff too, because I've been all over YouTube today, and I've not had any problems, both on computer and on my phone. Okay, so I would definitely suggest checking that out. Um, but now that I've said that, you know, again, the Prince Magnum channel did step up its game today. Uh, if you go to the main page of the channel now, the section called the About section. Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you, Kelly. We're trying to figure out how we're going to, you know, do what we do. I haven't felt like, live streaming anything other than this is how I feel right now. There's other stuff I would like to do. There's just no one to do it for, you know. Um, so I'm kind of right there. But I can't, there is car content to do, which I'm probably going to be getting back on that come tomorrow. Working on content, working on Project Lena. Okay. So there's going to be content to do. There's plenty of car content. God, there's enough car content to do. Yeah, I I need to go on to TikTok and talk to the community about what has transpired because a lot of folks from TikTok don't always make it over here. Likewise, for some people over here that don't make it over to TikTok. So there's even stuff on my TikTok channel that a lot of people have not seen. Okay. Yeah, so you're kind of right there with me. So there's a lot of stuff, that I can do that I need to do. I just haven't done it yet. But there's like a lot of car content that I've still got to do. I can get back on the content series for our ladies, for car content for them. Learning basic stuff. I've been, you know, absolutely. Which I think I've got a small paycheck coming from work because we get paid tomorrow. I'll call up there and double check. There won't be much, but the Patreon channel, well, the Patreon account is now linked to the Prince Magnum channel. Okay, so if you guys go over to the main page and there's the About section, you can actually click on that now, and there's a link to the Patreon account. Yeah, yeah, I'm right there with you, Miss Kelly. So I'm going to tell y'all straight up honest, okay? You know, I wouldn't say I'm in a rut. There's things I could do, but right now I think everyone's just want to make sure that I'm okay, and I'm telling y'all right now, I'm not okay. I don't feel right. Uh, Life's dealt me a dirty one right now. I'm angry. I'm upset. I'm hurt. I've been feeling, those big bouts of depression. I talked to a lot of y'all trying to get through it, but it's still there. Because the moment I hang up that phone, the problems are still there. So yes, I've made headway. Oh, real quick, if y'all want to know about the Patreon account, real quick, let me clue y'all in. The way it's set up, there is a tier in there for $1. For $1 a month. You totally get it, huh? For $1 a month, you become a member of what is known as the High Mileage Club. The High Mileage Club, not the High Mile Club. That's a whole. I'm not part of that club. For those of you, you perverts. um, no, High Mileage Club, referring to the fact that Project Spirit, even though she stopped, she's almost at 300,000 miles, original miles on her inline six. Um, we might add in another tier that only, and Patreon has a setup where you can load videos. Well, yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what I meant. You know what I meant. But um, so for $1 a month, but we might add in another tier because Patreon has where you can load videos to Patreon, and only you can see those. If you're a member of the Patreon, only you can see those videos. Okay, so we may be doing that where it's like blooper reels and things like that. And maybe some stuff that we don't talk about on the channel. Some stuff that kind of behind the scenes stuff. Okay. So basically, it's like you guys will get the awesome stuff. So we, we've got the Teespring store still up. That's in my name, which, it is what it is. We may be, I'm probably going to be changing the password on it because Princess Faye does not, you know, she doesn't need access to that anymore right now. Okay, maybe at a later date, maybe, but in the meantime, no. Along with that, because it's like you're not here. What do I know what you're spending it on? Rosie sent you. All right, bouncer. Well, welcome to the live stream. Thank you for coming in. Rosie's she's a big fan of my drag queen character Cinnamon that I've not been able to act in a while because we're talking about the fact that I'm not okay. Even though I'm in sobriety, I'm not okay right now. That's what we're talking about. But we're talking about right now how we're trying to move forward the best we can with the only means we know how. Thank you for that, bouncer. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And, so in a nutshell, we are staying focused. We're doing what we can, but does it mean I'm all right? Hell no, I'm not okay. The truth of it is that we all experience this. And I'm going to tell y'all, before my wife left, man, oh man, women beating down, practically beating down the door. She's gone. One is the loneliest number that you'll ever choose. Three Dog Night. If you've never heard that song, check it out sometime. Great song by Three Dog Night. You can definitely tell I'm a child of, I was born in the 70s and lived through the 80s because that music was still early 70s music. Amazing music. If you've never heard it before, it's definitely a style of music that I would love to see come back, you know. But it is what it is, okay? Mm. So I'm experiencing all of that stuff. Understandable, understandable. Really quick, since it's sober talk, I'll tell you all a great story. It's one that I've touted around for years in AA meetings, but this is one of those great stories in sobriety. Sober man was going through something very similar to this. And true story, happened to him years ago. I was early in sobriety and watched him go through this. Uh, I was probably around, I was around 3 months sober when this happened. Okay. And his wife had picked up and left and left a big rift for him. Yep. I'm kind of right there with you guys. I know a lot of folks, uh, when you talk 60s music, first band that comes to mind is the Beatles. Okay. I like the Beatles. I love the Beatles, but I actually like the Rolling Stones a little bit more. I'm a Rolling Stones guy, and I love the Doors and the Monkees. I love the Monkees. Neil Diamond, love. Could listen to Neil Diamond all day, all day. Love me some Neil Diamond music. For those that do not know, when Princess Faye and I got married, I at our wedding reception, I sang our wedding song and I sang Hello Again by Neil Diamond. That was our wedding song. Fleetwood Mac is another great band. Um, I know a lot of people like REO Speedwagon, and I know this is going to be blasphemy. I like REO Speedwagon, but to me, they're a little overrated. Oh, wow. Well, Bouncer, thank you. Uh, I know if you were a veteran by the 1980s, you've seen some stuff. Okay. Thank you for gracing us with your presence here. Hmm. We all know that Cinnamon's favorite from her TikToks, her favorite singer is Madonna. Cinnamon's a Madonna fan through and through. She's a big Madonna fan. Big Madonna fan. She's also a big fan of Culture Club. I'm a child of the '80s. Yeah. Frozen's a good song. I always like her song "Take a Bow." Another great song. But here's the funny thing: most of you all would be shocked to know my all-time favorite band is Kiss. I'm a Kiss fan through and through. Um, yeah, I'm right there with you. The word Gen Xer here. I'm a Gen Xer. And depending on what year you were born, Bouncer, you might be a boomer. Well, that's another subject for another time. We'll talk about the generation thing again some other time. But um, Soberman and I, he had to go up because Soberman had by this time had two strokes. He's had three now, three total that I know of. Oh God, Cyndi Lauper. When I was a kid, I had a crush on Cyndi Lauper. Yep, I'm right there with you. Um, we were going to go up to St. Louis so he could get this pump filled, and it supplied his body with a medication called baclofen. Brother, I've got a 19-year-old daughter. Okay, Bouncer, I've got a 19-year-old daughter. You don't think I'm not scared? I'm old enough to be a grandpa now. I'm scared to death. I'm like, for fuck's sakes, how the hell did this happen? I just turned 42. Okay. Um, so now that we've kind of talked a little bit about that, on our way up there, we were listening to all these awesome Kiss songs. We knew this, and I knew we had a lot in common, but I didn't know to what degree. So on the way up, you know, all the songs that I liked, he liked by Kiss. All the ones that we didn't like, oh, I remember that we talked about it. We once a week we're going to be doing retro wrestling, so you definitely want to be here for those, Bouncer. We might try to do that again tomorrow. Yesterday's version of it was just horrible. It just did not work out. But back to what I was talking about. Uh, so we really, it's like, man, all the songs that I liked, he liked, all the ones we didn't like by Kiss, because even Kiss fans will have songs that are like, man, they shouldn't have done that song. That was a bad song, or they could have done a better job. But those were the album fillers. What you often might times call the B side of the album. Really quick for you young kids out there. Oh my gosh, yeah, we'll have you definitely we'll do it. We'll do that segment tomorrow then. Um, oh yeah. We'll dive into that again. We'll dive into that again. So let's talk about that a little bit. You know, so I learned that I had a lot in common with Soberman through music. Okay, my sponsor. I knew we had a lot in common. Well, we ended up getting bad news because insurance wasn't going to cover it and everything, and he was really upset, torn up, and we ended up uh, halfway home, we ended up kind of finding common ground, and we ended up having more fun halfway home, even after getting bad news. We ended up having more fun than we did on the trip up. And that's one of my favorite stories to talk about. If he was here right now, he would go into more detail. But, maybe that's something that we might look at doing at some point. Maybe having Sober Man in one of the live streams. That would be awesome if we could do that. But in the meantime, it is what it is. So, we're, if you will, we've got a lot of ground to continue to cover in. Absolutely, Bouncer. And my time in Alcoholics Anonymous, I'm coming up on. Yeah, the old Prince Magnum's getting old. For those that do not know, again, when I talk sobriety, my sober date going into Alcoholics Anonymous, and I have not touched any illicit drugs other than what a doctor had. Hey, back from the dead. I'm worse. I haven't heard anything yet. I haven't heard anything yet. You know, and I will tell you all that this is very tough for me. Okay, my sober date is February 7th, 2006. I'm 15 years sober, and I'm experiencing this now at 15 years sober. Almost 16 years sober. The irony of this is sober man was going through the same exact thing at about the same time I am years ago, and I watched him go through it. The only difference is we weren't going through a pandemic at that time. We were kind of talking a little bit about that. I'm missing that opposite gender interaction when I come home. That's what I'm experiencing. Oh, thank you for that, Bouncer. I appreciate that. But I'm going to tell y'all right now, straight up honest, it is what it is, okay? You know, I didn't want to die. Or well, let me rephrase that. I wasn't sure if I wanted to continue living, but I knew I couldn't continue. They do help as much as they can. The problem that I'm experiencing is I'm not built. The cats are great, and I love both Taver and Zelda. They do their part, okay. But there's that part of me that absolutely, absolutely talking about the generational thing. Y'all have to understand. I've never done good with single life. Never done good with single life. I don't experience single life like everybody else. Um, I'm made these days to do things for my other half because I get enjoyment out of making them happy, making them feel special. Okay? That is the problem that I am experiencing. I am designed by my nature now to give to someone else. And without having that here, I feel empty. Okay. And I mean, that's the one last nasty habit. That and drinking too much coffee. Those are my last nasty habits. So, what I'm experiencing is that empty house feeling. Yes, I have, the two cats, but there's that important part that I am designed to give to someone else, and they're not here. So I know this sounds crazy to some of you. Hey, what's going on, Shadow? Shadow, did you? I guess it didn't show up on my screen. Or, yeah, it just didn't show up for me. I don't know why. Welcome to the live stream, Shadow. Yeah. Oh. Oh. Yeah, Shadow. I've got a family member right now on life support. I don't know why. It's just that I don't know why, but yeah. So I'm going through a lot of craziness right now because of this. And I'm here to tell you that I'm saying it's not, it's, I'm not okay. I understand that it's okay to not feel okay. Yeah. You know, Miss Kelly and I have lost a couple of friends this month, some loved ones, my grandmother passing away, 97, you know. Yeah, YouTube is goofy like that. It's just goofy like that. So I'm right there with you. We've been losing a lot of loved ones. So I'll be honest with you. There's not many moments I do feel okay, but there are moments that I do, and it's usually when I'm with you guys or I'm live streaming or something. And YouTube's goofy like that. And a lot of it's just Google being Google. It just didn't show up for me. I don't know why. It is what it is, but we're losing our love. We've lost, a lot of us have experienced a lot of loss lately. The truth of it is I know some way somehow I'm going to be okay, but for right now I don't feel okay. you know right. Yeah, Miss Kelly, yeah, it's been like that. Shadow, I'm sorry, man. I think a lot of us have experienced a lot of loss lately. you know this whole thing with my wife and everything. I don't know what to say. you know I'm I'm right there with you. you know my wife falling into the same trappings that I did. you know um going down those horrible roads. I don't know what to tell you guys other than, the only time I seem to feel okay is when we're all together or I'm talking to y'all outside a stream. It's about the only time I feel all right. But then the moment I have to hang up, I don't feel okay anymore. Even when I'm at work, I don't feel right because I know when I clock out, I'm coming home to just a couple of cats. They're great. I love them. They've been a big help, but it's not enough. Dear old Prince Magnum is feeling that loneliness that, you know, I like being a husband. I like doing the sweet stuff. I get enjoyment out of it. It gives me it gives me such enjoyment and pleasure. I don't know how to live without that. I know I have to accept it and I don't have to like it. but I don't know how. That is our troubles today for me. I'm sharing this because I know there are many of you out there that have experienced the same things. But I'm also sharing this because we have to be real these days. Remember, folks, there's a whole lot more room out here than there is in here. I know at some point I will be okay again, but for right now, I'm not. I don't like it. I despise this. I know I have to accept it, but I'm not okay with it. That is the horrible, horrible truth of it. And I will tell you, I would gladly turn back the clock and fix anything I possibly could just to make my wife okay again. Why? Because I didn't marry her just because. I married that woman because I love her. I'd chase her to the ends of the earth just for her happiness. Even if she didn't want to be with me afterwards, at least if she's happy. The way that this all went down, I don't have complete closure. That's not what we agreed on if it got to this point. But here we are. I'm stuck in a situation that I am not okay to be in. But I wanted to be real with you guys tonight. It's part of my sobriety, it's part of who I am. And we have to continue. Oh, audio's acting up. Okay. Girlfriend kept you straight. Yeah. Fair enough. You know. So, for me, this has been very difficult. But we will figure it out. But in the meantime, if y'all think about it, want to become members of the Patreon for the Prince Magnum channel, you now can. It's there, and the link is in on the about page for the channel. You can get to the Teespring store, get yourself some merch, your Prince Magnum channel swag. But in the meantime, we need to be real. We need to be real about this. So for me, yeah, I'm falling apart. I'm still hanging in there, but I'm telling y'all the honest to goodness truth. There comes a time when we have to be real, whether we're in sobriety, whether we're not, or whether we're just like everybody else. It is okay not to be okay. I just don't like it. So I'm getting real with y'all. I'm sharing what hurts. Y'all need to know these things because it's part of sobriety. I wish when I got sober I could tell y'all it's been a bed of roses, but that bed of roses has a lot of thorns sometimes. So just take that to heart. We've been streaming for over an hour. I understand. I understand, brother. Myself, personally, I'm kind of going through that. I understand, Bouncer. It's all good. But here it is. Wow. That's awesome, man. Maybe the day will come when I can say, I'm okay again. But for right now, I'm not. That's neat that I've actually met you, Shadow. It's really neat that I've met you. I meet a lot of you. Yeah, I'm very fortunate that I've met quite a few of you in the general public. I will tell you, some of my greatest joys with this channel have not been in video or live stream. Some of my greatest moments have been when some of you have come up and said hi to me, or come up and ask for a picture with me. I've had that happen. I've had some of you come up and say, "Can I get a picture with you? Can I get a selfie with you?" By all, that makes my day. And when you tell me that maybe something that you've seen me talk about or do, it's exciting for me. It is so exciting that I can't put words to it. Fair enough, Bouncer. That's awesome. Yep, I know the one you're talking about. Yeah, know the one that I live a hop, skip, and a jump from there. But it always makes my day when you guys come up and, the hugs, the handshakes, the stories you guys got. Wow. 15 now. Whole life ahead of you yet. I won't ruin those surprises for you. Life does get interesting. It gets hard. Sometimes you'll be forced to make decisions that you're not proud of. But there is still joy in life. I've experienced a lot of joy. I've also experienced a lot of heartache and loss. But I won't ruin the surprises for you. But life is fun. It's a lot of fun. So I'm not going anywhere as far as that goes, and I'm enjoying life sober. Right now, it's hard to find any enjoyment. So that's why I'm sharing that with you. Yeah, it was a different time when we were younger, Zero. It was a lot harder back then. Maybe sometime we'll have to talk about what it was like for me growing up. Yeah, I've got interesting stories. Fair enough. Shadow, I will keep you in my thoughts and prayers, friend. Folks, we're going to go ahead and call it a night. But as we begin to let out, I like to let out in a special way for Sober Talk. In a way that I hope that you all take to heart. So it goes a little like this. At day's end, I hope all of you need me as much as I need you. And with that now being said, if no one out there has told you that they love you today, Prince Magnum does. God bless you and have a happy 24. Thank you.